I'm standing here in front of CBS Studios in Studio City, where protesters have gathered for the third day in a row, demanding justice not only for the recent conflict turned war between Armenia and Azerbaijan, but the recent, quote, biased CBS coverage of the conflict between the two countries.
CBS, tell the truth! CBS, tell the truth!
Armenia and Azerbaijan are at war over the mountainous region of Nagorno-Karabakh, or Republic of Artsakh, and the last few weeks have been nothing short of debilitating if you have ties to the region. But see, this conflict is bigger than the disputed territory that's predominantly populated with indigenous Armenians. It's symbolic, and for so many, it's personal.
This is very personal. Our country is personal.
We all want peace. We did not start this war. We did not do anything. We're just protecting ourselves. We want this war to end, but for that to happen, Azerbaijan needs to end this war for us. If we back down, there will be no Armenians, there will be no Armenia. But if they back down, there will be no war.
Why is it important to protest?
To get our voices heard. We're doing everything peacefully, no looting, no windows are breaking. We're doing everything as it should be. But we just want our voices to heard and hopefully get our message through.
Similar protests have erupted all over the world, from France to Canada to the States and so on. Armenians are hoping to raise awareness and media coverage from the international community. Last Sunday, over 100,000 protesters marched to the Turkish consulate in Los Angeles, demanding peace and independence for Artsakh, with dozens of local, state, and federal officials condemning Azerbaijan's recent actions. Most of the major networks covered it. However, the CBS broadcast gave airtime to Azerbaijani official without the presence of someone from the Armenian side to do the same.
CBS employees were seen entering the studios through a side door off of Carpenter Avenue this morning, as both of the entrances were blocked off by protesters. But despite the frustration they must have been feeling for being late this morning, it's hard to compare that to those of the protesters have been feeling all weekend.
Well, what they were saying was just untrue and biased. It was unfair because all we want is the truth. We want the truth, and we want the news reporters to do their job and report the truth. That's why we're here. That is the only reason we're here, is for the truth.
And we want the truth to be reported because the media needs to be on our side here, because that's the only way we can get our small community to be heard from the globe, around the globe, around the nation. It's unfortunate that a lot of countries like Israel and the United States are not acknowledging what is going on right now. But us as a community need to come together, which we've been doing wonderfully, and we're going to continue to protest until justice is there and the truth is reported on all sorts of media channels, from CBS to CNN to ABC, from everything, because we need to be heard correctly.
CBS, tell the truth! CBS, tell the truth!
But despite the frustration, most, if not all, the protests around the world have been peaceful.
Remaining peaceful, I think it definitely allows us to grow as a community also, besides keeping it clean. I think that the peacefulness brings together the community, and we're able to pass out food, pass out water, like I said, pass out goods to the people who are waiting in traffic. All we want is peace. We have a war going on in Artsakh, going on in Azerbaijan, and we just want it to be peaceful here in Los Angeles, here in America, and keep it peaceful, because that's the only way that we're going to come together. And thankfully, all of my brothers and sisters that are here today, we have came peacefully every day, chanting and just fighting for the truth and for peace.
Undoubtedly, the Republic of Artsakh wants peace. And if Azerbaijan draws their weapons, there will be peace. However, if Armenia draws their weapons, there will be no Armenia. And with a global pandemic, the timing of this conflict could not be worse. Without the intervention of the international community, the Armenian diaspora is concerned that history is unfortunately repeating itself, as today's circumstances are eerily reminiscent to those of 1915, when 1.5 million Armenians lost their lives by the hands of the Ottoman Turks, while the international community was dealing with the First World War. Today, the international media is not allowed to enter Azerbaijan and cover the conflict. All the news that's being released from Azerbaijan is coming directly from the government. So this lack of transparency is the reason why so many are frustrated here today.
They have an Azeri speak for the protest? Is that what happened?
Yes, they had someone who was not Armenian speak against Armenians. You can't have someone from the opposing side speak for someone else or the other side. That just can't happen.
Why is that?
Because they're also biased. They're not going to speak negatively about themselves. They're only going to talk negatively on the opposing side.
So they were broadcasting the protest, but they had an Azeri expert speak.
Precisely. They wanted someone who wasn't part of our side to speak against us. It's not going to happen. They're not going to. Someone who is not part of the Armenian side is not going to speak for Armenians. They're only going to speak against Armenians.
And was there someone from the Armenian side to speak too, or no?
No.
And what's wrong with that?
It's one-sided. You're not going to understand a story one-sided. We're not close to the idea of hearing their side. As long as they're both sides. As long as you hear both sides, you can decide for yourself what the truth is. But there has to be two sides to it.
So you feel like it was biased?
Definitely biased.
No transparency, no coverage, no media. They haven't announced how many bodies they have. They don't have any list of who died. You know, with all due respect, everyone who has, you know, I'm not gonna get there. I'm gonna start crying. But at least we have a list, huh? At least we recognize who gave their blood for our country. We have their names. So they don't have a list. The government just shuts everyone down.
What does that say about their government?
I mean, it just speaks itself, right? I'll just refrain from making any comments because this is emotional and I'm sure personal for every single Armenian in the world.
Despite a recent call for ceasefire, the conflict continues. And with the help of global giant Turkey, Azerbaijan has the advantage in manpower and size. But with the help of the Armenian diaspora and the cries of the Armenian people, freedom for Artsakh and peace is very much on the horizon. I'm Nona Melkonian. Thanks for watching.